Whoa, this was an awesome episode. What was it called?
This episode is called Firestorm, and officially one of my favorites. Actually, my favorite episode of this season.
I would still say Krill was my favorite episode, but this was up there for sure.
Definitely. It's very Alara Kitan focused. She has to get over her fear of fire.
Yeah, but I thought it was I thought this episode, I was completely wrong from last week's prediction. First of all, I thought they entered this kind of plasma storm, and they entered some kind of dimension where there was this alien life form that's playing tricks with their minds. And throughout the whole episode, I was like, okay, so this alien life form is creating this area of fear in the whole ship, and everyone's experiencing it in their own different ways. All of their fears are coming to the surface, and of course Alara was the main focus of it because she had lost
trauma.
She had a trauma. She was afraid of fire that prevented her from saving a life on the crew. But then obviously I was completely wrong aside from the fear part.
So last week I predicted sort of the same thing. I kind of likened it to a Star Trek episode where some alien life form had invaded their minds and tried to play tricks with their fears and have everyone kind of hallucinate. And while I was watching this, I had another theory pop up in that as they entered the plasma storm, everyone was in the simulation room afterwards, and I felt like the simulation room kind of breached the ship as a side effect of the plasma storm. And so everyone, even outside of everyone outside of the simulation room was experiencing simulations. So I was halfway right.
I mean, I would count that. It was an entire simulation. You thought that the whole ship was in a simulation, but
right.
It was just kind of focusing to Alara.
Yeah, so Alara ended up having invoked Directive 38 and made Isaac kind of program a simulation that just had everyone's fears creeping up on them. And I thought, holy crap, the clown was pretty freaky.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it probably a couple of weeks ago, and that was the first thing that came into my head. I was like, oh man, Pennywise in this episode of the Orville.
Yeah, I didn't see the newest Pennywise, but judging from images, I can already tell this clown up close it looked freakier than Pennywise from the movie.
No, you have to see the new one even the old one.
I saw the old one. It's more it's kind of level with the old one.
Yeah, if you see the new one, it's pretty freaky. I guess this episode of The Orville was trying to pay homage to, It, a classic horror movie, Arachnophobia, a classic horror movie. What else? An alligator. What's that?
I think that's Lake
Anaconda,
Placid.
Lake Placid. I mean, I don't know what the spider. I don't know what Isaac was or Dr. Finn.
I'm pretty sure Isaac was kind of the manifestation of advanced AI. It came from Bortus's fear, but I would imagine that's sort of a lot of people's fears with AI and the emergence of machine learning.
Yeah. And
with all of these movies like Blade Runner and Terminator, all AI, the destiny of AI is always to
post-apocalyptic.
Is always to just get rid of the human race.
Yeah.
And it plays on that fear. I know that the fear of heights was explored.
That's one of my greatest fears.
I have a fear for heights.
I have a fear for heights and really tight spaces.
I'm a huge arachnophobe. Every time I see a spider, I think immediately it's going to attack me. Jump on me.
For spiders, I just let them out of the door so that they can go do their thing.
That's admirable. That's admirable. I don't bother with spiders. It just freaks me out. I kind of just take a step back and just roll back and this and just stay there for a minute, and then it
still bothers you.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently Alara got her mind erased for a moment there so that she could go into this simulation without knowledge of being in a simulation. I guess she's just trying to test her abilities as an officer of the ship.
She was definitely feeling a lot of guilt for what happened earlier in the episode, and that was her test, her test of might, because she was, exploring resignation, to kind of, she wasn't feeling like she was not qualified for her job.
Yeah.
The episode wasn't that funny. There were some funny moments. But
Bortus was hilarious. I mean,
Bortus is always funny.
His dry delivery is just something I look forward to every
It's
episode now.
It's like, oh, you can thank Evil Isaac on Bortus because, the fear of being conquered by a superior race. And Bortus is like, I'm feeling self-conscious. May I leave? That was pretty funny. Also, another thing that I noticed, since when were punching bags made out of feathers?
Oh yeah.
I was like,
no, it wasn't feathers. It
was like
foam.
It was a
like
foamy
bunch of
material.
foam.
Isn't it like traditionally sand, or kind of like this heavy?
I mean, a long time ago it was made out of sand, but now I'm not sure what it's really made out of now, but it's not sand.
Well, it definitely has to be something that's heavy, right? Like when it's compounded.
Well, I mean, if you take all that all of those like packaging foams or whatever, and then I think you can add the more like density and pressure. Gets them really, really heavy. I don't know. I guess we should have looked into it.
I mean, it just looked like she just like when she punched through it, it looked like a whole bunch of feathers. And
special shout out to the stunt double with orange hair when Gordon gets eaten by a spider.
Yeah, that was a great tumble. I thought you really nailed it on that one. But yeah, it was a great episode. Alara Kitan, or Halston Sage, she knocked one out of the park with everything she did with this episode. Yeah. Her acting, just in general, the way she carried herself in this episode was amazing, and she remains my favorite character of the entire series.
I think Bortus is just my favorite character.
Bortus is the funniest. I appreciate everything that Alara goes through, though.
Right. But I don't know. There's just something about Bortus. The way he delivers everything is just like, it doesn't even have to be funny. It doesn't. They don't even have to try to make him deliver something funny. It's just funny to me every time he speaks.
Yeah, I mean, he can say one simple thing and it'd be funny, and just because it's the way that he comes off as a person.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
That's his comedy delivery.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, final thoughts. One of my favorite, if not most favorite episode of this series, Alara Kitan, character development. We meet her parents. Mm-hmm. She's an MVP, obviously. She got through every simulation.
Yep.
And faced her fears and emerged the chief of security yet again.
Great episode. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I would give it a 4.8 out of 5. And if we're rounding things up, I'm gonna give it a 5 because it is my favorite episode. I'm just gonna say it. It's my favorite episode.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Sunday fams. If you like this episode, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. The bell notification for more from us. Until next time.
We'll see you later.